So hello, I'm Shawn Buckley with the NHPPA, and I'm with Del Bigtree today. And Del, welcome to Edmonton, Alberta.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
But I wanted to take the opportunity to ask him a couple of questions because, Del, we're looking at what's happening in the United States, and we're in the process where our federal government is actually trying to take what you call dietary supplements away. So they want to basically regulate them exactly the same as chemical drugs, which the industry untenable. And so we're looking south and going, wow, look at what's happening with your work with Mr. Kennedy, this Make America Healthy Again. If you guys can change the narrative, that's likely going to resonate here. So I just wanted to ask, how's it going? And do you think that you guys will be able to change the narrative in the United States?
Well, Robert Kennedy Jr. is, declared that he's going to be radically transparent when it comes to the science around everything in America, whether it's the chemicals in our food, the products on our shelves, the drugs, our water, fluoride. All of that is going to finally be on the table. We've been living in, and I think when I think of Canada, really, you're no different than almost every other nation in the world. America leads all scientific research, especially when it comes to things that have to deal with health and human services, but more specifically the FDA, the CDC, and the NIH. Those are the largest medical bodies in the entire world. So whatever FDA determines, every other nation follows. Whatever the CDC declares, every other nation, follows some form of that science. And so I do believe that, where America goes, the world follows. And certainly, as our neighbors, Canada is going to be prone to be watching what's taking place. When you talk about supplements, I know one of the conversations that's happening is very unique. I had the opportunity to be Robert Kennedy Jr.'s Director of Communications while I was running for president. When he decided to join President Trump, then I became a part of the team, working on what he would do inside of the health departments, and even, got a little bit involved in helping him select the staff members that would be below him. Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to oversee Health and Human Services, which is the largest, I think the most important health position in the entire world. HHS Secretary, he has 80,000 employees under him. Oh, wow. But he's going to select about 240 of his own to lead several different departments. In that, when we were looking at it, there's a very interesting conversation that's come up in regards to the mandate of the FDA. When the FDA was first created in the United States of America, it was only given the mandate to focus and determine whether a product was safe and pure, like purity and safety. So meaning, is this product safe? And second, is what's in this bottle exactly what's written on the label? Does it match the ingredients? It never got involved in efficacy. Now, this is going to be a big debate, but a very interesting one. A guy named Jim O'Neill that is right under Robert Kennedy Jr., selected him to be his deputy. And Jim O'Neill's been working on what if we roll the FDA back to that original mandate? Because what happened was FDA was just involved in determining safety and purity, and then it was the industry, the drug industry, pharmaceutical industry, that asked for more regulation.
It's this drug model. So you make everything a drug,
right,
and make it the law that you need approval.
Well, to even more specifically, to get them involved in efficacy. Does the product do what it says? FDA was never involved in that, and the pharmaceutical industry will act like, hey, we hate all these regulations. They're the ones that make the regulations.
Well, the way I view it is it's to protect intellectual property rights. Because for serious health conditions, to get that needed government approval, so to prove the safety and efficacy, the process is so expensive that for serious health conditions, the only legal treatments are chemical.
I'm making a different point, though. Safety and efficacy isn't as expensive as, safety and purity is not as expensive as efficacy. Proving the product does what it says it does, that's the most expensive. That's where you have the randomized controlled trials that have to go on, and we got to see, does it lower cancer? Does it do this over years and years and years? That's the $100 million trials. You can determine much easier, over a course of watching people if it's hurting people or not, or whether it's causing any sort of physical issues. So the pharmaceutical industry told FDA, get involved in efficacy. Once it did that, it contaminated the FDA. Now it's determining whether a product does what it says it does. And as soon as it does that, it really essentially becomes the marketing arm for that product. Now our government is saying this product cures cancer. This product, it's making these declarations that you and I know, or both know, is failed also. And is it better than the last product? It's why generics disappear, because now the government's involved with saying this is the best product that works. Government shouldn't be doing that. Imagine if we went back to a place where all you determined was safety and purity, and say, let the market decide whether this product does what it says it does. Let the doctors using it determine whether they think it's having a better effect than the last product they were using. And let all of the consumers, the patients, decide this doctor's having more success because he or she's using a product that I want to try. So you let the market determine the efficacy of something, and if we did that, this is the whole point, if we got to that point, you would no longer have this argument that vitamins and supplements can't declare that this, will help you with flu, or can't talk about the cold, or, this will reduce inflammation. You would be in the same playing field as the pharmaceutical products, which is the government's not deciding whether it can do it or not. People are, doctors are, and you put it back into the market. And I think it'd be, there's a lot of attacks upon this idea, acting like suddenly the products wouldn't be safe. It's the exact opposite. We want to focus FDA just on, get back to safety. You are so caught up in efficacy, you're skipping safety. They skip the safety process because they're so obsessed with efficacy that they seem to not care whether the product is damaging people's lives. So FDA, imagine if FDA moves into that direction and really gets focused on safety. First of all, we're going to find out things about products that have been on the market that we didn't know, that they do not have the safety protocol that we thought that they had. We've never been able to ask the question, how safe is it? We can do those studies. We have huge databases. We have computer learning. We are living in a world where in about a year, AI is going to be determining everything. The only thing we're not allowing AI to do is go study our databases and tell us what's causing this chronic disease epidemic. The reason our industry is not allowing that to happen, or our governments are not allowing that to happen, because they're terrified what we're about to find out, that they've been pushing products through without looking at safety. So whether or not Robert Kennedy Jr. does it alone, I think technology is going to lead us in that place, and there will be no denying the truth about where these products are at. And then we have to ask ourselves, should we be mandating? Should we be forcing them? Can we trust a government that never did the proper science? And now that we're doing proper science, look what we're discovering.
You know what's interesting about that, because you were talking about, well, dietary supplements would be able to speak, and it was kind of the trade-off back in 1994 when you guys brought in the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act. Well, you don't need government pre-approval. We'll put you in the food category, but you can't make claims. So you submit your structure function claim, but you're really not able to tell the truth, and we're in the same situation. And imagine if information could be freely shared and people could decide what to do for themselves.
Let's put everybody back on the same playing field, which is you're all just making claims. Let the practitioners and the patients decide whether those claims are working for them or not.
Del, I thank you very much for doing this interview.
All right. Thank you.